Hello all YouTubers, the Weather Dude here with your weather forecast for your exact location. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning in to my presentation for March 17, 2019. Today's video is going to be my 2019 Atlantic Hurricane Season Outlook number 2. Okay, so it's not the same one as my first outlook. This is going to be my second outlook. Also, I'm going to be adding a bonus outlook, which is going to be 2 tropical waves that I am tracking moving off the coast of Africa. Yes, I know it's March, but I actually do classify these areas of showers and storms as a tropical wave for a certain reason, so please stay tuned for that. As always, please subscribe, ring the bell notifications, okay, never miss one of my videos again, and also don't forget to please ring the bell as well. So, start off with the sea surface temperature anomalies. This will factor in our hurricane season, and you can see cooler temperatures in the eastern Atlantic near like the coast of Africa, but I mean like Gulf of Mexico, Atlantic Ocean, like North Atlantic as a whole, actually even the southern Atlantic, which really doesn't matter in this case, but northern Atlantic, Gulf of Mexico, doing good with the sea surface temperatures. And keep in mind, okay, 12Z, that is the coldest time of the day. So like when I show you the sea surface temperature anomalies, like I'm going to soon, okay, that's gonna be from the coldest part of the day. I'm surprised 18Z is not out yet. I can try and see if I can get 18Z, but I might not be able to. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a satellite imagery. Okay, and as far back as I can go, because this is the first tropical wave. Okay, right here. Here it is. It was very strong when it came off the coast of Africa. I mean, we're talking about like reds and grays on the satellite, which is like reds and blacks and grays, which is all the way down here, which means more shower thunderstorm activity. Okay, when it came off the coast, right around here. Okay, maybe it could have been a little bit farther south than that, actually. I think it was actually like right down here, like right around here. And then it just kind of took a little gradual dive to the south. Okay, and generally the storms this time of year, if they stay south of the 10-degree end line, which is the latitude 10 end line, okay, it's my best line there, which that is going to make the storm a little bit more stronger. Okay, because usually south of the 10 end line, we usually have less wind shear, okay, warmer sea surface temperatures, and no winds pressing against the storm. Not really much to weaken it. So this will be like your favorable zone right in here, early in the year. Okay, once you get into later in the year, obviously when the hurricanes become more common, even north of the 10 end line, we'll start to see some activity. Okay, but the tropical waves at this time are going to stay this pretty far south. Then watch, this tropical wave kind of weakened to a little bit of blue and green, which is not as strong. And then I started to notice another tropical wave coming off right here. Okay, and I will move the clock forward so you can see. Okay, here it comes, emerging off the coast. And just recently, in the latest run, okay, you start to see a little refiring of grays and even some whites. Okay, so starting to get some thunderstorm activity, okay, right here, okay, and there is a low probability that this storm will form. Okay, that will form into a tropical system. In fact, I'm going to call it very low, because very low to no probability, because, okay, like the first one, I thought the first one could have potentially formed as something, and all of a sudden it just fell apart. Okay, so this area, and I will show you later on in the video, has typically less wind shear and greater sea surface temperatures and less dry air in place. So, which is why these storms are actually getting to their strength that they are. They can produce 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. Okay, you can stir up wave heights about 5-7 feet. Okay, so tropical waves, okay, probably as strong as it will get. Okay, so here's again tropical wave 1, tropical wave 2, 1, 2. Okay, just something to keep an eye on there. It's just something to watch. So sea surface temperature anomalies. Okay, very simple. Cool here, warm in the northern Atlantic. Okay, so this is off the coast of Africa. It's going to be cooler. 7-day change in anomalies, again, pretty much average in the northern Atlantic. I mean, you got some areas a little bit below, some areas a little bit above, some areas a lot below, and some areas a lot above. So it's pretty much average if you factor it all in for the northern Atlantic. But off the coast of Africa, it's just been cooler. Okay. First half of March was actually pretty warm across this area in terms of anomalies. Now we're starting to creep down a little bit. And I will pull up a Celsius to Fahrenheit temperature conversion so you can kind of see like what Celsius means, because these are not Fahrenheit. temperatures, by all means. And also keep in mind, these sea surface temperatures are actually right now a little bit warmer than they're shown here, because this is from 12Z, okay? And if I will actually try to see if I can find the 18Z, but I don't think I can. But you can see 26 degrees Celsius in terms of sea surface temperatures across, we're talking about like south of the Cabo Verde Islands. Okay, so over here, yeah, so it looks like it's going to be 12Z. I'm sure the next half hour they'll come out with 18Z. It's just kind of on a delay a little bit, but this is good enough. So 12Z, okay, these are where your tropical waves are forming, all the way down here. It's probably a little bit farther south than that. Okay, we're talking about 25 to 28 degrees sea surface temperatures. Okay, so if you plug that in, that's anywhere from 77 to 82 degrees. So for March, that's not bad. Look at the Caribbean. Okay, I mean, we're talking about 78 to 80. Okay, for March, that's not too bad. I mean, we're only in the middle of March, and we already got sea surface temperatures cracking 80 degrees in some spots. Like, whoa, well, why are you saying it's going to be in below average hurricane season? Which my latest outlook is right here. I just updated this today. My 2019 Atlantic hurricane season outlook is here. So, and we do see named storms, okay, 12, which I just updated to average, okay. Before, I actually had this at 11. If you watch my first outlook, I actually had this at 11. This is now, this is before. And you can see average, okay, we have, so 12 named storms, 6 hurricanes on average. Last video I did have this at 4, now I have it at 5, okay. Because I do see a significant drop-off. This is based off how it looks right now. This is my outlook based off the way it looks right now. I'm starting to see a significant drop-off in wind shear in some spots. And I'm also starting to see a significant drop-off in the dry air. And starting to see the sea surface temperatures warm up. Which is obvious due to the spring equinox and it getting warmer as we head closer to June and July. And you can see average, we get 3 major hurricanes. I'm going to say 2. And I do believe in my last outlook I did say 2 as well. Or maybe about 1 to 2 I said in my last outlook. So that in that category I think that will remain the same. Okay? That's what I do believe will happen. Okay, back to some maps. So we're gonna look at the satellite. This is like the geo color. It's kind of like a cloud cover satellite. And here's number 1. And since this has a black background, I'm going to change it to yellow. Okay, so here is tropical wave number 1. Start to see more of like a duller kind of gray, maybe a few pop-ups with some white color, but really not too strong. Okay, but back here you start to see some like hybrid white colors. Okay, that's your second tropical wave. Okay, this is the stronger one. Okay, and this is number 2. Okay, number 1 is not so strong, out ahead of it. Okay, we're going to continue to track these waves as they head their way to the east. Okay. So here we are, track the tropics, okay. This is the satellite, okay, taken at around 21Z-ish. Okay, so there's tropical wave number 1, not looking too strong. Okay, maybe some yellow starting to come back, but when this turn left, I want you to notice right here. Okay, notice that we had a nice little flare of purple. It's kind of gone down to a little bit more of like an orange and red. Orange and red is still very strong, don't get me wrong. Okay. And also, if we look at the water vapor loop, which is right down here, do not understand why it's not pulling up, but the water vapor loop does show we do see some green, okay, and that does mean we're going to have that more moisture. Okay, and here's that little low that's very strong, pulling down some dry air, and here it is the dry air right here, as you can see, some blues and yellows. That's some more of like the orangish. That's like the drier air that's gonna kind of weaken these tropical waves. Here's number 2. Here's number 1. Okay. So our next map is gonna be how like the El Niños affect the hurricane season. What all goes into it? Okay. So generally, when we have an El Niño, and I will zoom in on this so you can see it. Okay. El Niño typically has less hurricanes in the Atlantic, more hurricanes in the Pacific, because we're going to have that warm air in the central and eastern Pacific Oceans. Okay, this is because we have the stronger vertical wind shear, so more trade winds and greater atmospheric stability. Okay, when you have more stability, you're gonna have that drier air. You're gonna have that calmer air. Okay, and when you have that, you want to have that low stability. You want to have that instability in the air, kind of like how it generates severe storms, like high instability. Okay, if there's more stability, there's less hurricanes. Okay, so generally fewer hurricanes. That wind shear is going to be cutting into these storms. Okay, and in fact we actually do have an El Nino watch in effect, which means there's a 50% chance of an El Nino. Okay, for the hurricane season. Okay, so if it does get up to an alert, I think there's a good chance. I'm not going to guarantee, I'm not going to put the icing on the cake, but I will put the icing on the cake if it ever reaches to the El Nino, like it is an El Nino range. Okay, but if it goes to alert, you guys will be the first to know. Besides me, of course. So, in the Pacific, obviously, is going to be more hurricanes due to less vertical wind shear, so it's kind of like the opposite, okay? So what you just saw there, well, flip-flop that, and that's your La Niña. Okay, that's your cool air and drier air over the central and eastern Pacific, and we have more hurricanes in the Atlantic due to weaker vertical wind shear, less atmospheric stability, so more instability, less trade winds, and obviously stronger wind shear in the Pacific. It's going to lead its way to fewer hurricanes. I don't know if we would get to a La Niña. Okay, if I do look at the sea surface temperatures, we start to see, like when I looked at the El Nino, it was actually getting more of a moderate range, starting to calm down a little bit. So even though an El Nino watch is in effect, we could see potentially a flip over to La Niña. Okay, and keep in mind, the last time you had a La Niña during the hurricane season, okay, was 2011. That happened later in the year, but more like 2010. Okay, 2010 was the last time we saw La Niña for the Atlantic hurricane season. Okay, 2011 it did happen, but it was more like later on in the year, which was why we had Hurricane Irene, for example, go up the Atlantic coast. Okay, that was one of those stronger ones. 2012 we had La Niña early, like in the winter time. And you can see another example of La Niña during hurricane season 2007, 1999, okay, 1998, and the list goes on. Okay, El Nino year during hurricane season 2018 was a pretty neutral year. Okay, we had a slight El Nino. Okay, and we still had a pretty decent hurricane season that year. Okay, we still had two major hurricanes that I'm sure you guys will remember, Florence and Michael. Okay, and that was with an El Nino watch, and towards the end of the year we had an El Nino alert. So just something to keep an eye on there. Saharan air layer. Okay. Like I said, this is why I upped my forecast right here, kind of. Because, look at the significant drop-off in Saharan dust, okay? Right there. Gulf of Mexico, Western Atlantic, really no dry air there at all, okay? We start to see those clouds overtake that dry air. You're going to start to see that moisture. We can get some moisture work its way, and it's going to knock out that dry air, okay? And here's our first tropical wave, okay? Notice the spot that it is in, okay? It's in a spot where there's no dry air, so there's really nothing to kind of stop it, okay? And I have been noticing that the dry air right in this area, let me change my color to like a blue, here we go. I have noticed that the wind shear, or the dry air, excuse me, in this area has actually kind of weakened. It's just been like these stray little bands of dry air. So if this tropical wave can maybe regain some strength, I did notice some flaring in activity. Obviously, as we get into heating in the day tomorrow, that could possibly happen as well again. Okay, but again, you get this not as dry air. If we can get that tropical wave to work up, it could even become a depression. Okay, I think it's way too early, but like I said, there's always a first time. I know 1 year, it could have been a couple years ago or a year ago, that we actually had a tropical storm form in April. Okay, and if it can happen in April, it can pretty much happen in March. Not much different. Okay, so in telecast, we have been getting some problems there. So here's the Weather Channel satellite to finish off the video, and then I will briefly show you my hurricane season outlook again. Okay, but here it is. This was 8 o'clock p.m. Okay, you should do this every hour. Here's tropical wave number 1. Not much left, but some showers and a brief thunderstorm, and maybe like some widespread cloud cover, excuse me, which usually happens in a tropical wave. And here's your smaller but much more stronger wave here. So here's one. Oops, sorry. Got a little glitch in the screen there. Okay, so here is number 1 right here. Here's number 2 right here. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe, ring the bell notifications, never miss one of my videos again, and please ring the bell. I am the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time. See you guys next video.